It's a temporary situation right now. It's not going to be long-term.
How the heck did they do that? Well, Alan Plevy, an area divorce attorney, is seeing this trend firsthand. He joins us now to talk about what we can do to make the decision easier. Alan, you say you've had clients like this?
I certainly have, and it's a common experience that's going on right now with the economy the way it is. People can't afford to move out. People are afraid of losing their jobs. People are being furloughed. We see all kinds of living arrangements, especially when there are children involved. It becomes even more difficult.
But this is an area that's fraught with peril. Sharing, it depends, I suppose, more than anything on what caused the breakup.
Right.
If an affair caused the breakup, that's just red hot material,
then of
right?
course you've got problems. Then of course there's animosity between one person and the other, and it's going to be difficult, very difficult to live together. But there are people who are living together, who are separated within the home, even have children that are living together, and they just live in separate bedrooms. They go about their lives just waiting for time to go by.
I just wonder how they can accomplish that. It must be mixed signals for the kids to be like, you know, maybe mommy and daddy are going to get back together. They're sharing a meal. Yeah. They're taking us to school together. That must be hard.
In the best of circumstances, you have people that have set out routines. In the worst of situations, you have people that are saying, you don't listen to daddy, don't listen to mommy. We have situations where we come before the judge, and judges are not entering orders generally when you have everybody still living in the same house together, because the judge is not going to say when you listen to mommy or when you listen to daddy.
A lot of this depends, I would imagine, on the emotional maturity of the couple involved, right?
Definitely.
Their ability to separate the emotion from the reality of living.
Well, and there are difficult decisions to be made, and if you can separate the emotion from the business side of what's going on and try to treat this as a business decision as opposed to letting your emotions run wild.
Who would you counsel against living together in the same house with after a breakup?
Well, if there's violence. Certainly if there's physical violence, emotional violence. I've had situations where people are keeping other spouses up all night long, trying to get them to agree to certain things. By 3, 4 in the morning, you're up, you haven't slept, and finally one spouse is saying to you, okay, I'll do whatever you want.
Have judges actually gotten involved to a way of saying, tonight it's your time to watch TV, she'll be upstairs, he'll be downstairs?
No, judges are not going to micromanage your lives. They cannot do it. They can't get themselves into that house. As long as the parties are living together, I find that judges are not going to say what the children are going to do and who they're going to listen to.
I've heard of people going into court and asking for that. That's why I ask.
Yeah.
It's so crazy to think, you know, as a judge, you're going to be, you know, my parent, essentially saying, you guys get along.
Is this a decision that couples come to based upon advice of lawyers or mediators, or is it something that they often come to on, between themselves without expert opinion?
It happens mostly by circumstances. I mean, we've got situations now where people are being furloughed. You cannot get a job. I heard today that 1 in 10 people are going to be out of work in this country in the next couple of months. People are losing their jobs. It's difficult, and everything is boiling over, and then you've got a situation where you've got a stress from the economy, from the money, and it just boils over. The pot just boils over.
Beyond rent and mortgages and things like that, if you had to separate, of course, they'd be expensive in this day and age. How much does the average divorce cost?
Really
if I wasn't doing the tug of war with the kids and the cars and everything, I just want a divorce, tell me how much it's going to cost.
It costs. How much can you and your spouse agree on certain things? What are we going to do with the children? What are we going to do with the house? What are we going to do with the debt? So the more the parties can agree through mediation, through their attorneys, through marriage counseling, the more they can agree, the less they're going to spend on a divorce. The less time is going to be needed for an attorney to spend.
Let's focus on the bright side, if there is in a situation like this.
Side?
Have you seen a situation where a couple who was breaking up agreed to live in the same house together, and eventually because of that, they got back together and stayed together?
No, I can't say I have.
He's like,
Darn
no happy endings
I was
here.
hoping for a happy ending here.
I'm sorry.
That would be a success story.
Would.
I think these people, like in the piece we saw that Diane Sawyer did, I was telling Alan when we were watching it, that they should write a book about their experiences. Bingo, get some money, get the heck out of there.
You know, and she mentioned in that piece right there that she was actually dating another man. That is just a huge
Do you have any clients that are doing that?
I've got clients that are living together, and yet they're dating other people. They don't bring the other person home. They don't bring them to meet
God,
the children.
I hate to be that other person.
I know. I mean, the minute they come inside the house, it's just like all bets are off, I would think. I mean, people are capable in these circumstances, and you well know, of losing their minds from time to time.
That's where the emotions start running wild. That's where the emotions start running wild, and people can get rough. It can get really rough on people and the children involved in this.
Before we go, how long, think about all the clients you've had, how long has someone successfully lived under the same roof even though they're broken apart?
Several years.
Really?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
We'd like to get them on. Ask them.
I'll check with them.
We'd like to talk
I'll
to
check
them.
with them.
Oh my
Okay.
gosh, that would be a story, wouldn't it?
That's an exercise in patience if I've
Yeah.
ever heard it.
Oh, wow.
All right, Alan Plevy, thank you so much for joining us today.
Well, thank you for letting me be here.
Very interesting.